into the back of the net. Deflected goal at Chelsea, and now a deflected goal at Tottenham.
Throughout their history, Spurs have always been competitors, but not genuine title challengers. It all changed when an enterprising manager from Southampton was secured. Mauricio Pochettino ushered Tottenham into the upper echelons of English top-flight football. Spurs came close, but their attempts were thwarted at the final stretch of the season. Jose Mourinho has now replaced the Argentine manager, and their performances have improved a bit, but they are not at the same level. Their performances leave fans desiring more. Their story is not one of sudden collapse, but small factors combining together, resulting in their perceived mediocrity. Perceived as they can still manage to reclaim their top 6 spot, one that is being eyed by Leicester City, Sheffield United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. To have an informed opinion on Tottenham's current state of affairs, we have to look back at Mauricio Pochettino's reign, where their rise started. Ever since he took over, there was a newfound belief in the squad. Tottenham did not whimper when the going got tough. Pochettino's men fought tooth and nail for the ultimate prize in English football. At the Battle of the Bridge, Chelsea would stop their title assault. It was a tough encounter against one of their worst rivals, and in the 2-2 draw, they showed their nasty side. Tackles flew, and there were a few scuffles mixed in between. However, the single point put an end to their ambitions and allowed Leicester City to be masters of their own destiny. The greatest underdog story of Premier League history was written, but the heroes were Claudio Ranieri's men. Tottenham capitulated after playing better football throughout the course of the season. This did not end their aspirations, and Spurs came back roaring again. They had established themselves as genuine title challengers and proved on the field. Pochettino managed the title challenge with a smaller transfer budget and much smaller wage bill as compared to Antonio Conte's Chelsea, Pep Guardiola's Manchester City and Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. Even at Old Trafford, Jose Mourinho did not have the team he desired, but the resources at his disposal were much better than what Pochettino could call upon. Harry Kane and Dele Alli proved their mettle as world-class performers. They combined together effortlessly and gave Pochettino a chance against the best sides the Premier League had to offer. Chelsea would go on to lift the trophy, but not without competition from Spurs. Son Heung-Min would make them more potent, as Manchester City would assert their dominance in England. Compared with the outlay by the citizens to become English champions, Tottenham were nowhere in sight. They were buying in the bargain basement to strengthen their squad, while everyone else cherry-picked their reinforcements. But in the 2018-19 campaign, no major additions would be made to the squad. This happened due to their stadium upgrade. Tottenham were leaving behind White Hart Lane into their £1 billion Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A whole season would pass without any fresh faces, and still, the North Londoners managed to squeeze into the Champions League final. Ajax Amsterdam had put an end to Real Madrid and Juventus' Champions League aspirations, but would fall to them in the semi-finals. A date with destiny would be set. Liverpool stood in their way of glory. Both Jurgen Klopp and Pochettino had not won anything at their respective clubs. By the end of that fateful night, Klopp would etch himself in Liverpool folklore. Pochettino and Tottenham would leave with question marks about their abilities. Pandora's box was open, and Tottenham were being questioned. Their inability to reinforce their squad had probably cost them their place in European history. The win would have changed Harry Kane's mind about leaving for pastures new. The England captain was in demand, and he would fetch a handsome transfer fee. But the prolific forward was also their most marketable asset alongside Son. Some promises were made, some were kept, and Tottenham would continue. Spurs' run to the Champions League final had papered over cracks in the first team, but the 2019-20 season would reveal them. Their horrendous away form continued, and with injuries taking their toll, squad depth was revealed as well. Years of penny pinching was beginning to have its effect, and it was showing in their performances. Tottenham were scraping by in games, wins had turned into draws, and draws had become defeats. They were not title challengers anymore, and were a glorified mid-table side. Something had to give. Daniel Levy had to make some changes. Pochettino would lose his job. The beloved manager was unceremoniously relieved of his duties and was swiftly replaced by Jose Mourinho. The Special One had famously stated that he would never head Spurs. He had reneged on his promise to Chelsea fans as he liked the challenge ahead of him. The Portuguese tactician was joining a top club in the middle of a season. He's not known for such antics and likes to have a complete pre-season before starting a new job. He likes to prepare for his next project but join Tottenham on the fly. Such is the bond of Chelsea fans with Mourinho that even his move to Tottenham could not jolt his status. Spurs fans were hoping the Special One would bring that magic to their state-of-the-art stadium. When Mourinho joined Tottenham, the club were reeling in the bottom half of the table. They were 12 points adrift of Chelsea in the final Champions League qualifying spot. Their performances in domestic cup competitions was not of note as well. Moreover, Mourinho was taking over from a manager who was beloved in the dressing room. The only positive from his appointment was the fact that the Portuguese man would manage at least 3 players who he had tried to have join him at Manchester United. Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen and Toby Alderweireld made the shortlist. In addition, he had rated Dele Alli and Son Heung-Min highly as an analyst for Sky Sports. With a few adjustments, this was a squad Mourinho would gladly call his own and add more honours to his already burgeoning list. And this is where his major problems stem from. Christian Eriksen had been their playmaker-in-chief. Like Luka Modric before him, the former Ajax man had cemented his place as a central midfielder to fear in North London. Like Modric before him, Real Madrid wanted him at the Santiago Bernabeu. Eriksen was seen as the ideal replacement for Modric. They even made a bid, but Daniel Levy would not budge from his demands. Eriksen had a year left on his contract and the deal made sense. It would not come to fruition and the Dane was left wondering. He stated his desire to see out his contract and decide on his future. Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen were in similar situations and were following Eriksen's lead. This was even before Mourinho joined the picture. 3 first-team players had their hearts set away from the club. The trio were not alone. Harry Kane was also disillusioned. Manchester United wanted him to lead their charge in the Premier League. At the same time, Dele Alli was not performing at his usual high levels. He was rejuvenated at the start of Mourinho's takeover, but has since succumbed to injuries and loss of form. Injuries have been the key factor in Tottenham's strange form. Every first-team regular has faced time in the treatment room. From January to February, one after another, Tottenham lost their attacking talents. For games in succession, Dele Alli was played up front with 18-year-old Troy Parrott as the only other forward available. Harry Kane, Heung-Min Son, Lucas Moura, Steven Bergwijn and Eric Lamela were all out of first-team contention. This all happened as Christian Eriksen forced a move away to Inter Milan. To make matters worse, the defence was broken up for similar reasons. This follows from the time when captain Hugo Lloris was unavailable at the start of the season. Serge Aurier is the only first-team member who has been available throughout this time. Tottenham's dressing room has been in an upheaval. It's faced every type of issue that could be faced. It started off from lack of reinforcements to their beloved manager leaving. This was followed by discontent in the dressing room with players seeking exits, and if that wasn't enough, injuries galore hit them just when they were showing signs of improvement, and to top it all off, coronavirus pandemic enforced lockdown that has lengthened their misery. Jose Mourinho has been at the helm of Tottenham for over 7 months now, but to claim that this side is an embodiment of him would be factually incorrect. Spurs are going through a transition, one that's seen them praying to the gods for any favour, but none has come their way. Their 1-0 win over Everton showed their aptitude to grind out results, but should only be taken with a grain of salt. As it stands, Tottenham still have a long way ahead, and it's just the start of their journey. They have their hands tied to their backs in the coming transfer window as they look for bargain buys and free transfers to reinforce their squad. Moreover, their core squad is ageing and it's showing its signs, Harry Kane being the prime example. The fans will have to get ready for a long summer and an even longer campaign ahead. Mourinho will need time to shape this squad in his image. This is a different challenge to the one he's faced before, but a challenge he took on knowing all the pitfalls.